What's up guys, welcome to another video. In today's video we are going to take a look at 4 new phones that I got in my collection. But before we start, if you haven't noticed, I've been dead for a while, so yeah, I'll tell you why. I haven't made a video ever since making a video on the Z Flip, and it's been 23 days since then. And it's been a while, mainly because of just personal stuff, mental health issues, low amount of free time, homework, that sort of thing. Just personal stuff that's just been really in the way. So that's just that's just why I haven't made a video in quite a long time. But I'm not dead. I'm here with a new video. And also, after making a video on the Flip, I just didn't have any motivation to make a video after that because the Flip was a huge flop. It is literally the biggest flop ever. I should have never bought it. It was a huge mishap. I should have really never bought it. I've been trying to resell it for a month now and people just don't want it. It was the dumbest purchase decision I could have made. Even dumber than the S7 Edge, which was the worst. The S7 Edge was worse than this because I did get what I paid for, which the S7 Edge I didn't, because the owner said it was as good as new, which it wasn't because it has a black spot on the display. So that was even worse. Plus, it costed me pretty much even more in total than the Flip. But still, yeah, it was just really demotivating to make a video because the Flip was a huge flop, literally, the flip flop, and yeah, I just didn't have motivation after that, and after that I got mental health issues, and after that I got very busy, but here I am again. So let's get started. In the meantime that I haven't made videos, I've been getting a lot of phones, and I've been buying quite a lot too, which is concerning, but I do have 4 phones to show you here. So let's first start off with the one that I got first. I've arranged these from the phone that's sitting here I got the most recently, and the phone that's sitting here I got the longest ago. So shortly after making the Flip video. So let's start with the first one, the most colorful one. This is, well, as you could probably already tell, a Huawei P20 Pro. Yeah, I haven't even booted this up yet. This is a Huawei P20 Pro. Why did I get this? Because it was insanely cheap and it was mint condition. I even have a case for it that I'll put over there so I can show you it in the case. There we go, that's what it looks like. I bought this case for it because it's just mint condition. Now, this P20 Pro was listed on my local marketplace app for $40. If I remember right. It costed me $41 in total, including shipping. Why was it so cheap? Because it doesn't accept SIM cards. It doesn't at all. I think it's a motherboard issue. It just doesn't see them at all. But I really wanted to get this phone because it's in amazing condition. It's really as good as new. It's really spotless. There are only a few spots on the display here, like there was dust there at some point, but that's it. There are pretty much no scratches, and any micro scratches that are there now are my fault. So yeah, pretty much new condition P20 Pro. All the damage is on the frame. I don't know if you can see that. All the damage is on the frame. There's a little bit of damage on the frame right here, but I really can't complain. For $40, these go for like upwards to 100 secondhand, for no reason, because they're not even worth that much. And that is in used condition. So I was really, really lucky on this. Sadly, I can't really resell this because, you can't call with it. And, maybe the person that will buy this wants to call with it. But yeah, this is the nice twilight color. You can see me right there. Hello. So yeah, but this works completely fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this phone apart from that it just doesn't accept SIM cards, which is really, really unfortunate. But that doesn't really matter to me, as I'm not going to use it for that. I haven't debloated this yet, which kind of sucks, but I have been using it for a bit. The camera on this phone is absolutely amazing. There are no other defects on this thing. There is a slight bit of TikTok burn-in, which is really unfortunate because, well, yeah, that stupid brain rot app just slowly destroys all of us. Including our devices, both our mental health, us, and our Jesus Christ. TikTok destroys everything. Our mental health, and also your phone because it causes burn-in. And my S20 is way, way, way worse than this. So yeah, I hate TikTok a lot. Um, but yeah, this works completely fine. There's nothing wrong with this thing. The OLED on this thing looks pretty good. It's definitely not the best OLED I've seen in the world. It's very much. It's very much not 10 bits. I can see some color banding, but hey, this is better than an LCD. Um, I use the home button gestures on this thing. It has premium haptics, which is really nice, and it's the best Huawei I have. The best Huawei I had before this was the Mate 20 Lite, which I was initially going to use to record this video with, because I was making a time lapse on my S20 of one of these three phones, and I'll show you in a bit. But yeah, P20 Pro. I now have a P20 Lite and Pro. Now I just need to get the middle brother, the P20 non-Pro, non-Lite. Which seems to be pretty uncommon in my country, so I'm not sure if I'll ever get that. Not sure if it's worth it. If I get it for free, then sure, but maybe I'll find it someday, but I'm not gonna, look for it and buy it just so that I have all the P20 phones. But yeah, excellent phone. Takes really good takes really good pictures. I'll search up a good picture for you. I took a lot of pictures with this thing while doing my newspaper job. Yeah, this thing takes really good pictures. They're really crisp. They're very detailed. They're often a bit grainy. I compared this to my OnePlus Nord 4, and there's a huge difference in processing. You can see the Nord 4 absolutely smashes it in terms of processing because it has come a long way since 2018. But raw camera performance is not bad at all. It's really good. It's really impressive. So yeah, for example, look at this. You can see all the little details in this hand. It looks really freaking good. So yeah, same here. I love taking pictures of flowers and stuff, and just small stuff, macro stuff. So yeah, P20 Pro, really good phone. Not 100% sure what to do with this thing, but I had to get it because it was so freaking cheap. Well, it did cost me like $55 in total because of the case. The case is pretty expensive. It's just this clear thing, but it's very solid and protects the phone really well. Kind of useless to use this as a secondary device because, well, it has EMUI, which I don't mind, but there's Android 10 on here, which won't be supported by all apps for that long. And I have my S20, so yeah, I've been really struggling to choose a new secondary phone. My S20 is still so amazing. I'm recording on it right now, of course, as most of you will probably know, but yeah, I've been trying to look for a better secondary phone. But yeah, that's the first phone we got. Let's move on to the next one. And spoiler alert, the third one is definitely the most unique, and probably one of the most unique smartphones I got in my entire collection, so stick around for that. Next up is a Samsung Galaxy S6. Yeah, I've never had one of these. I'll turn it on for you. It's dead. Well, the phone itself is not dead, but the battery's dead. The battery on this is really bad. I traded this with a friend for my white S5, which wasn't even in good condition. See, there it died. Jesus Christ, dude. Oh, no, it didn't die. I genuinely thought it died there for a second. But yeah, I've never had an S6. Well, I've had an S6 before, but I've never had one to keep for myself. I traded this for an S5. Really ridiculous, honestly, that my friend wanted to trade this for an S5. It just shut off. But he didn't want to trade this because the battery on this is cooked, and he just wanted to use it for the IR blaster, which the S5 also has, and the S5 has better battery life than this, which is crazy because I think the S5 is already awful. But it's in really good condition, apart from the battery. There is a deep scratch in the camera, which is kind of unfortunate. Don't think you can see that. Yeah, there you can see it. There's some little scratches on the back, but the back is in awesome shape. I was gonna say awful, but no. The frame on this is pretty much mint. This is really used in a case for sure. There's not even that much wear on the micro USB port, which some of these have scratches all around the port, and it looks awful. But yeah, this thing is in really neat shape. It does have a small crack up there, as you can see. That's the only real trade-off. And one very unfortunate thing about this phone that I will show you. I don't think you'll be able to properly see it, but there's a gradient in the AMOLED on this one, which is really weird. AMOLEDs are really, really sensitive. But this type of damage or just wear is something I've never seen in my life. It's only visible on gray and especially like dark brown colors. Yeah, you can't see it at all. The brightness is at max and my phone is absolutely struggling. You might be able to see it, but the color tone is normal on this side, on the left side, but as you go more towards the right, it becomes like yellowish tints. Kind of the issue that my Nothing Phone 2A had after just 6 days of use on the top of the display. But this is a gradient. I don't think you can remove this. I think it's just permanent damage. It sucks because the rest of the phone is in amazing shape. But yeah, you might be able to tell, just maybe. If it's pure black, you won't notice. But if it's gray like this, you will be able to notice. And yes, this runs a custom ROM. I've rooted this and custom ROMmed this. My phone absolutely hates this thing being at max brightness. But I'll have to put it at max brightness, otherwise you just can't see it. Jesus, my S20 hates this thing. Yeah, you probably can't tell, but it's like yellowish tint here, and here on this side it's normal. So yeah, that sucks. That sucks. That is probably the main trade-off of this phone. I'm gonna stop focusing on that piece of shit. But yeah, Galaxy S6, first ever S6 running Lineage OS 20, which is Android 13. I'm doing a battery health test on this, so I'm just going to put this away. But yeah, Galaxy S6, very nice. I've never really gotten one of these for myself. I have worked on 3 S6s in the past. One that was very similar to this. It also had a mint condition back, but it had a really weird crack in the display right here. As someone bit on it or something, as if a dog has bitten on it, and it had like cracks going to here. It was really battered. The frame looked like crap. The charging port area was especially really worn. But it had a less bad battery than this, which is really surprising. So that means that this really was taken care of. It was just really it was just really mistreated, at least the battery, because it was probably always charged to 100%, maybe even overnight. So yeah, this thing has had a long life. It also had 1200 cycles on it. So yeah, but apart from that, the phone is in really excellent condition. This is definitely the nicest condition S6 that I've ever seen, which is really good, because most of these are pretty battered and pretty destroyed. So yeah, Galaxy S6, new in my collection. And finishing the story on the other S6s that I had, I threw a custom ROM on that one with the cracks. Did a battery health test on it. It came out at 74%, whereas this one came out at 70%. So it's really bad. Keep in mind the S6 never had good battery life to begin with. People were complaining about it at launch already. Don't know about the Edge, but this is the flat model. But yeah, I custom ROMmed that thing, and a week later I had to give it back to my friend and he sold it. So yeah, I never was able to get a proper S6. And the other two, it was a gold one and a blue one. And I mean like the light blue, the really ugly cyan blue. They both had motherboard issues. I think they had dying NAND flash, or just dying eMMC, UFS I mean. Dying UFS storage, because all it would do is show gray, but the rest of the phone was in good condition. Both displays worked fine, but I'd have to get a new motherboard and stuff, so that's just not worth it. And I also had an S6 Edge in white with a very destroyed display, and it never showed live. So yeah, these S6s are, man, they get destroyed all the time, and they are not the most reliable phone. I wouldn't say that these are bad, but they aren't the most reliable. They are good troopers, so they don't die quickly, but I wouldn't say they're as reliable as something like an S5. So yeah, let's move on to the next phone. The next phone is really special and really different from pretty much everything else I've shown on this channel, and it's really precious to me. So I was at school last week on Monday, and one of my friends was scrolling through the Marketplace app when when I looked at his favorites, and one of his favorites was called a Android Google phone, and I was like, what in the world is that? And it costed only $20, so I was really interested. So I looked at it, and it turned out to be a Huawei Nexus 6P in black. which was never sold in my country. Never, never. The Pixel series was never sold in my country until the 6 series, so you'd have to import it. And the Nexus series was never sold here in my country. So, yeah, this was really rare. I was like, huh? I've never seen this in my life. I mean, I've seen it. I know what the Nexus 6P is. I know it was that one phone from Jerry Everything that failed the bend test, but I've never seen one in real life, let alone, in my country. So yeah, I was really intrigued. I was like, no, I want to buy this. It's a decent phone still too. So yeah, I gave the seller a DM, and they didn't respond. But according to the app, they respond within 3 days. So I waited 3 days, still didn't get a response. So I said, can I buy it again? And they were like, oh yeah, they responded within like 20 minutes, which was really funny. And after that point, yeah, I just bought it. I bought it, and here it is. It was called the Android Google phone, and this is so rare. This is a black Huawei Nexus 6P. Now, if I turn this on, it's gonna boot to twerp, so you will not see a operating system running on here, which is really unfortunate. It was sold as good as new with no scratches, which is a lie. This has, and you won't be able to see it, but this has quite a bit of scratches. But I cannot blame the previous owner. The glass on this phone and durability in general is just really, really weak. There's a scratch going from here to here. And there are also quite a lot of scratches on it since I've owned it, which is really odd because I've only shoved this into pockets a few times. I never throw with this because I know how rare it is. I mean, just look at it. It is such a cool phone. These were never ever sold here. So this was 100% sure either owned by a company, which I'm suspecting because of the really immaculate shape of this thing. Because knowing how fragile the glass is, I'm surprised that this thing even had so little scratches when I got it. Or this was just bought in another country and they moved to my country, which can also be a thing. But yeah, this phone is really, really weird. And I mean with emphasis on weird. This is definitely the weirdest phone I've ever bought from a marketplace. And I'll show you why. Actually, I'll just tell you why. The battery, these were known for battery issues, these Nexus 6Ps, because they had, and I'll turn it on for you even though it doesn't have an OS on it. I've been having custom ROM issues with this. They had battery issues because apparently Huawei and Google had like 2 lawsuits, I think, because of battery quality issues in the Nexus 6P, which is really, really interesting because I battery health tested this thing and it came out absolutely flying at 98% health. Absolutely incredible. It is pretty much brand new, which is so weird. I've never had a battery health that high in my life. Even my previous main phone, the Galaxy M53, the absolute stinky piece of shit that it is. I'll go to AccuBattery. I tested this recently, 7 days ago. 95% after 2 years of careful use. This had 98. How can a 10-year-old battery have 98% of its health? That just doesn't seem logical to me. Even if you don't use the phone at all and charge it to 60% every now and then in the 10 years of its life, it's not going to keep itself at 98%. That's just incredible. It must have been either replaced or AccuBattery is lying, or this phone, it was just never ever used, and it was maybe only used inside, and this was never, someone's main phone. Maybe this was used, only inside a room or something, which is something I was suspecting with the P20 Pro here, because the P20 Pro has no scratches on it. So maybe, they bought this and it didn't accept SIM cards, but they couldn't return it, so they kept it and just used it at home, because it does have TikTok burn-in, which means a brain-rotted person used it. I'll go to the recovery. But yeah, this is really, really weird, because why would it be in so amazing condition? That's just not logical at all. If this phone had battery quality issues, how can it be new basically. It was like 33 80 milliamp hours out of 3450. And I have a picture on my main phone, but it's downstairs, so I'm not gonna bother to grab it. It's super annoying. So yeah, but it does work. There's also another really weird thing is there's absolutely zero AMOLED wear on this. This is probably the cleanest AMOLED I will ever see in my entire life. It looks absolutely stunning. It's absolutely amazing. For 1440p Quad HD panel, this is incredible. And I don't even think Huawei chose this particular panel, because the P20 Pro, which is a Huawei phone and was not made by someone else, it has a meh AMOLED panel. It's good, but it's not too bright, and the color bit depth, whatever you want to call it, is not that good, because I can see a gradient in the colors sometimes. Whereas this looks absolutely incredible, even on basic things like the twerp recovery. Now, yeah, I cannot install custom ROMs on this because of this issue. I've also been having a lot of other custom ROMing issues with this thing, such as settings hanging. But yeah, surprisingly, I've been having no issues with this phone in terms of the hardware. The battery life has been solid. Well, solid, not too good, but for a device this age, solid. Seriously. The camera on this, absolutely amazing. I do have some pictures on my computer, but once again, I'm not going to turn that on just for this video. It takes amazing pictures. Very close to the P20 Pro, if not slightly better, which is incredible for a phone that is 3 years older. It does have a power consumption and heat issue, which is something I was expecting, because it's a Snapdragon 810. It was known for heat issues and battery issues, especially heat issues. And this thing does get really hot when you start using it a lot, and it does start dropping really quickly if you do something intensive like update 10 apps at once from the Google Play Store, which I did. It absolutely burned through my hands somewhat. So yeah, but this hasn't been as bad as I thought it would be. I thought this thing would be running hot all the time, like every single time you unlock it and just leave it idling. I thought it would be like hot in the hands. It's not. It runs pretty cool. In fact, look at this. The CPU is at 21 degrees, just sitting in the twerp recovery. So yeah, this is a really weird phone, really freaking weird. Definitely the weirdest one I've ever bought from Marketplace. Not just because of how rare it is, but also because of the condition. It has some slight scratches, and it's not mint, but it is in really good shape. The battery is, I don't even know what the battery is. Is it new? Is it replaced? It doesn't seem to be a replacement, because you'd have to take this piece of plastic off at the bottom and also the top glass. And all of this feels really solid. It's not like, it doesn't feel like it's going to come off anytime soon at all. So yeah, it must be original, I feel like, or it's just had a casing replacement. That can be, that can be true. They may have just replaced the entire casing. I don't know. But yeah, super super weird phone. In exceptionally good condition in terms of the hardware, and in terms of physical condition, it's pretty good, but it's not the best. Definitely going to keep this as a collection item. The only other Nexus 6P that you can buy, in my country at least, is on the same marketplace, and it costs $75. I paid $24 for this, which is amazing. That is an absolutely amazing deal. And I'm very, very happy with this phone, even if, I won't be able to fix these custom ROMing issues with the partitions, I think it is. So yeah, Huawei Nexus 6P, my first and probably only ever Nexus phone that I will have. I hope to get a Pixel, like a Pixel 2 or a 3, because I've been really enjoying this thing. I just don't like Pixels because of their Google software, but I might want to try it. Pixels are really cheap in my country, secondhand. It's just that the older Pixels are really hard to find, because I really want a Pixel 1 or a Pixel 1 XL, or maybe a 2, but I really want a Pixel 1, the OG, that was made by HTC, and I really hope to get one of those. But yeah, Huawei Nexus 6P. Let's move on to the next phone. So the next phone I just got yesterday, I traded this with a friend, and I've been really wanting this phone as well, and I do kind of have a story for this one for you too. This is not that special of a phone, but this is a Xiaomi Mi 90 Pro. Yeah, the flagship killer classic from 2019. I have no idea what this used to cost. I'd say like 250, 300, 350 or something, but this was the cheapest Snapdragon 855 phone yet. It was a huge hit, especially in China. Not that big of a success here. Not that many people bought it. Um, but the Pro was definitely more popular than the normal 9T. Um, but yeah, this thing is in decent condition. The display is absolutely covered in scratches. I think you'll be able to see it because it's so bad on this one. It is absolutely covered in scratches. Like holy crap, this is worse than my first main phone, and I'm not complaining, but it's just impressive how bad it is. So I'm not gonna worry about throwing this thing in pockets, and it's just not even worth trying to throw a screen protector on. But yeah, this is the pop-up camera phone. Yeah, and it still works completely fine. And I absolutely love the bezel-less look. It looks so futuristic still. It still looks more futuristic than something like my S20 or my Note 4, because there's just nothing here. It looks super cursed but super clean, and I love it because I don't even use a selfie camera. I think that if I want to make a phone custom only for myself, I would just remove the selfie camera entirely. I think it's useless. I never use it. I look ugly anyway, so why the heck would I take a selfie? I think it's super useless, and they can make it as low quality as they can for me, as cost saving. I really don't care. I never ever use it unless I really just do it jokingly. So this phone is pretty much ideal for me. I threaded this with my old steering wheel, which was a Logitech Wingman Force Feedback. I only wanted $10 for it, but my friend said he didn't have $10, so he wanted to trade the Xiaomi Mi 90 Pro for the steering wheel, which this is way worth way more than that steering wheel. And after that, he gave the steering wheel away to a friend. So yeah, this was pretty much free. Um, and really amazing. It's pretty amazing to be honest. The battery on this is amazing too. It's still at 87% health, so it's definitely not in need of a replacement. It's doing very well. There are a couple issues with this, apart from the scratches. As you can see, the glass is lifting. I can literally just take it off right there. Removable back. And the battery rattles. As you can see, the battery is just sitting loose in there, and it rattles a lot, which is really annoying. So I could buy a new battery for this and glue it in. I do have phone adhesive for batteries. I do have that. I might do that, but then I also want a back cover that actually sticks down, because if the battery is replaced, I probably won't ever take this apart again. But then again, it doesn't even need a battery replacement. The battery is excellent on this. But so yeah, that's a bit of a dilemma I'm sitting with. That kind of sucks. But you know, in the meantime, I can use this with a case. And it feels completely fine in that. I'll just have to get a new case because this looks awful, because it was a cover case, so it has that awful glue in it. I tried removing this with washing fuel, and I still wasn't able to clean it off. So even harsh chemicals won't clean that off. I'll just have to get a different case. But yeah, Xiaomi Mi 90 Pro. I've been wanting to have one of these for a long time. I think half a year ago I tried restoring a mint condition, and I mean like mint condition, Xiaomi Mi 90 Non-Pro, the one with the Snapdragon 730, in black, which the same friend got in a phone lot. Ooh, sorry for the sun. Which the same friend got in a phone lot. It had a dead AMOLED, which really sucked. So what I did is I made the wrong decision, and I bought a really crappy LCD display. Threw it on there. It looked hideous. It had really thick bezels. It really took away one of the main features of the phone. It cost me $40 too. It wasn't cheap at all. And it really sucked because the phone was both FRP locked and Mi locked. Xiaomi account locked. I was able to bypass the FRP, but the Xiaomi account lock is just on there, man. I was never able to bypass it. And I double-sided taped the display down, which was the worst choice of my life because it was misaligned. So I tried taking it off, and I completely ripped the display. It completely fell apart. It was made so cheaply, so nastily, that it just completely, all the layers just came out of it, man. It completely broke. And at that point, yeah, I was so done with it, man. Maybe I should have salvaged the battery to use in this one, but I never knew my friend was gonna get another one of these at some point. He got this for like $20, absolutely insanely cheap for such a good phone. So yeah, I was really trying to fix that one and really, wanting to use it as a secondary phone because I didn't have my S20 back then. I wanted to make the Mi 9T my secondary with like a custom ROM or something, but I couldn't because I broke it. And the LCD was just awful, and the AMOLED costs $50. And now I have the Pro version of the phone with the with the much better Snapdragon 855 for no less of just nothing, a crappy steering wheel that I just wanted $10 for. So yeah, I'm really happy with this thing. I'm definitely gonna custom ROM it because I don't like MIUI, man. I mean, it's well optimized, it works well, it's fast, but it's not that fast. You can get a lot more performance out of the 855 than this than this gives it because of the MIUI and all the ads and all the recommended garbage that I see here. It's absolutely awful. And then my friend keeps hitting on OnePlus, which doesn't have any of this garbage. So yeah, but apart from MIUI, I love this phone. I really do. I love the bezel-less display. It looks really clean. Performance on this is still great. Battery life is great. It has a decent display, HDR10 plus, 1080p AMOLED with wide color gamut support, which I didn't even know. Not 120 Hz, of course, because it's from 2019. Only 6 gigs of RAM though. That kind of sucks. Because my S20 has 12 gigs of RAM, but this does have the better 855 over the Exynos 990, so it's not fully worth it to start using this thing as a secondary device. But yeah, I hope I'll get a use for this. The cameras aren't the best either. I think the cameras on this are pretty meh. I think the cameras on Xiaomi phones are pretty meh in general. They're good, but they're not outliers. They're not like exceptional or anything. Sadly, I can't see charge cycles. So yeah, this wasn't really taken care of, but the battery is really good in this, and hardware-wise, it is in really good condition. So yeah, Xiaomi Mi 9T Pro. This is the 6 gig RAM, 128 gig storage version, which is pretty decent. And that's it. That's the last phone. So, thank you so much for making it till the end. Really hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me in the comments which phone is your favorite here. Is it the S6? Is it the P20 Pro? Is it the Nexus 6P? Or is it the Xiaomi Mi 9T Pro? Let me know down in the comments. Really hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want. I'm really not gonna beg for that. And most importantly, have a great day and see y'all in the next video.